there is a coffee shop outside of Naperville. I recognize his design.
He's amazing. I think he's got his artwork on Uganda coffee. Yeah. Drum it for us again.
Way to bring it into the world. I can't dance. I can't talk.
I can do it all. I can do it all. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls of all ages, welcome to Bridging Civil Tension, the show where we feel it's better to build a bridge than to burn one down. If you don't like what I have to say or my opinion or the way that I live my life, meet me in the middle and we can go our separate ways, or we can hook arms, we can walk together. But the idea is don't blow the bridge up. We may need it sometime.
Figure out how to make that bridge work. Right?
Yeah, of course. Phil Wallace walking in here. He's going to be coming in. The man, the myth, the man, the myth, the legend, author, father. Let's get that right. Father, author, entrepreneur, coach, mentor, award-winning author. You name it.
Most importantly, human.
A human, as they say out east, human, and of course representing the Bulls and Lelos this morning with his giddy up. Glad to have you, Phil, as always. Oh, by the way, today on today's panel, Phil will be playing the African American.
Consistency.
He's a good actor. I like
yeah.
his style. He acts well.
This character.
I adopted this character.
Yeah.
He wasn't born into that character. He adopted it.
No.
Full circle.
These are my friends.
I think he was born into the character. He tried.
No, he is a character.
I think society tried to adopt him a different way. But anyway, we just continue. Crystal Lake South.
Heck of a ride.
Yeah, heck of a ride.
right. And it wasn't an Uber.
That's it. To his right, your left is the one and the only Kelly Vance. Of course, if you know anything about real estate, she's an incredible realtor here in the McHenry area. But more importantly, we're going to be talking about what she's doing to change the world. What's her calling, which I'm just excited about. And Kelly and I have kind of become good friends over the last several months, just out of the passion that she has and just the uniqueness of who she is. So Kelly, welcome. I'm glad to have you here.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah. And of course, if you know, Scott, she'll be playing the female part today. How about that?
Female.
Yeah.
I can do it.
And then, of course, playing the Scott part, as it's been dubbed here on the show.
The Scott quote.
That's it. SG3, good morning. Glad to have you with us, Brother Corsell, all the way from the Reject Rundown. These guys are great. They'll be live on Saturday, actually, tomorrow for UFC, which is great. And then there's Jen Krejci. Jen Krejci, of course, really my sister from another mister and wife of one of the owners here at 21-6. So, Jen, glad to have you with us this morning as well. But Scott is the playing the part of Scott today. You may know him.
The wild card.
Yeah.
The wild card.
You may know him as the host of The Grounds with Giles and Jones. He plays the Giles part. And of course, I'm Kent Jones. I am owner, founder, CFO here at DDOE Enterprises, Daily Dose of Encouragement, which is the mother company to 216 Creator Studios, which is also part of 21-6 The Net, which is good. So all this good stuff. And I will again play the white part. White.
So like
white
part cream
today. Yeah. So we've got Kelly here because Sunbeams Uganda. Can you tell us what that is?
Sunbeams Uganda started just really by encouraging and equipping one person who had a dream for a village. And then now we're just about encouraging and equipping the whole village to become everything that they were created to be. So we are in one village. We're not looking to change the world, Kent, but just one village. And how that impacts, that would be amazing. So we started, I don't know how far back you want me to go.
Yeah, let's go all the way back.
To the beginning. That's
go to the beginning.
You know, how you got there and where you're going. I mean, that's
in the beginning, God created.
Yeah, in the beginning.
There was Adam and Eve, and they ate fruit.
Right. There we go.
From there, it's all downhill.
Yeah, so I went to Uganda with some friends who had an orphanage down there, and met a young man down there, and we created a relationship. And originally, the goal was to be able to bring him here,
Right.
and have him visit, show him all what America has to offer. About 3 weeks before his visa appointment, COVID happened and the embassy shut down. And we kind of were on a 2-year pause. But through that 2-year pause, learned that our embassy system is very, very, very broken. And in that,
Go figure.
Yeah.
Government
it's just,
broken.
What?
It's a mess. That's a show in and of
If that
itself.
wasn't the case,
Yeah.
we wouldn't have
But-
we wouldn't have a station, right?
Right.
Next on your embassy sucks.
Yeah. So in that process, got to know him and got
Yeah.
to know about his dreams and what makes him tick and what makes him excited. And he's just got a real heart for people and wants to be a blessing. He would always say, I just want to be a blessing to people. And I went down there to visit him in the midst of COVID. And since he couldn't come here, and he wanted to show me some different land in this village, and his dream was to build a school for the kids.
Yeah.
As a young kid himself, school fees are really tough to come by. So they're kind of always scraping their way
Mhm.
through school and gritting their way to get through school. There's a lot of shaming in Uganda. Like if mom doesn't pay school fees, all the kids are called to the front and the principal comes in and says, you go home, you're not paid. Yeah, it's tough.
Wow.
So this is a pretty young individual then?
He's 23.
Okay. So definitely
Yeah.
still a
Still
kid,
young.
but I mean, wow, what a calling. I mean, at 23, that's great to see him stepping up and
Yeah.
wanting to help his society and
Yeah.
his town. I mean, it's got to start somewhere, right?
Yeah.
It's so funny, right? Here in America, my wife, of course, is involved at the school district. And, the big thing is, hey, you can't walk across stage unless you pay all the. Yeah. So there are families here that they're not shamed, but,
Right, unless your bills are
but
up to date, you
I
don't
couldn't
graduate.
imagine like, all right, man, got a math test today. Yeah. Scott, why don't you come on up here? You deadbeat. You haven't paid.
Yeah, you
No.
can't take
So
your test.
I got straight A's, but I'm not paid up.
Doesn't matter.
You
Bye-bye.
failed.
Yeah.
failed.
Oh.
You are trash.
What?
How weird, right? But that's what it
It's
is.
not the kids' fault.
That's what it is. And so he just had this dream. And so he wanted to get some land. And, this is all out of my box. I'm just
Sure.
going to tell you that this is all new. And we found some land that had some good road frontage in the village. I mean, it's a remote village,
Yeah.
no electricity, no running water. And we purchased some land. My husband and I thought, well, if we don't build a school, or he doesn't build a school, then he'll have land for his family. So we did that. And then the next time I went down there, it's kind of like,
So when you say bought some land,
Yeah.
10,000 acres,
2 acres,
2 acres. Okay.
2 acres,
2
of land.
acres.
Yep.
Yeah.
2 acres of land. And then next time I went down there, thought, well, we need water.
Right.
No matter what, we
Yeah.
need water. So we put a well in. And Mark had run these projects and he had proven himself. He did a great job. I mean, the well got done within 2 weeks. I was pretty clear that I'm going down there. I'm not giving you money. I'm bringing it and it's going to be working before I get on the plane.
So Sunbeams Uganda, is that a foundation that you have started
Yes.
with your family and friends here?
Yeah. I started a non-for-profit after we got through that. We did a sewing school.
Okay.
So then we got
So
we started a non-for-profit here. I
Okay,
have a board.
So what is your, I guess, easiest question, your mission statement? What are you guys looking to do?
Yeah.
Looking to help and looking to
Just
educate, looking to, because I know I have some friends that also have a foundation down there that, theirs is big as into just teaching basic skills on how to take care of yourself and create an
Mhm.
income. I know that's a big thing down there because there really isn't a way for people to make money.
Right.
Right. And they don't have any real good skill set. So I know they focus big on that. And that's kind of where you guys are going at too, kind of bring them some comfort, some basic creature comforts, like, running water.
What we would consider.
What that we all take for just granted, right?
Yeah.
Like the fact that you wake up with a warm house or,
Right.
you have running water or you have a roof over your head. These are things that these people I don't even want to say not guaranteed, but this is something that they struggle with every day.
Yeah.
Just simply water. I mean, the amount of walking that they do just to get daily water to bathe themselves or to cook or what have you is insane.
Oh, for sure, for sure. And if they have a roof over their head, a lot of times it leaks. So in the rainy season, they're
Right.
on dirt floors
Yeah.
with water coming in.
So-
But yes, our mission statement is to encourage, equip, and empower the people of Kijude, which is the name of the village. And it's through genuine relationships. We've spent a lot of time there building genuine relationships, getting to know them as people,
Sure.
serving, and then the love of Christ. And we were able to put in some sewing machines, and we're there to help them help themselves. I guess
Right.
I want to make that clear.
Yeah.
We're not
show
there
them,
just
show
to
them
a
their
handout.
talents.
Yeah.
Well,
It's a
show
handout.
them
They've
their
got
talents.
dreams. And when we
Right.
went there, this school is something they want. I mean, yes, it was Mark's dream to be able to build a school in a village, but they want it.
Right.
Yeah.
They're excited about it. And when this woman had come to me a couple times, I went there ago, said, "Hey, I've got some space in my house. Can you guys help us out with sewing machines?" We took that room, we transformed it into a sewing school, so to speak. We got 6 sewing machines in there, 40 women that are learning to sew, and now their kids are getting clothed and they're able to tailor, like you said, and learn a skill and make some money for themselves.
Well, yeah, I think from what I understand is there's a lot of people there that want to be productive,
Yes.
to do things, but they don't have the means to do it.
Yes.
And that's where
Yeah.
a foundation such as you stepping in, which is just humongous. And I mean, I appreciate you more than you'll ever know, because you're doing something like that to help somebody out, to give them a better life that can hopefully blossom and, keep giving back. They can learn and give back to the rest of the world.
So
Absolutely. And
so-
just restoring dignity. I mean,
yeah, that's
they're very creative and they're very smart. If you would see the dresses that they made in less than 3 months of having a sewing machine,
you
it
got
would
some
blow you away.
pictures on the net of that, right? Out on the interweb.
Yes.
Yeah.
I do.
So right up there, you'll see on screen www.sunbeamsuganda.org. That's the official website. Now, the other thing is, I really wanted to have you on here because you also got your gala or your annual fundraiser for this going on. Is it next week?
It's next
Yeah.
Friday night, the 14th. Yes.
And so tell us a little bit about that. I'll share. Here's some information up on screen about some prices and things. No,
Go up here, not this one.
that little screen. There you go.
Okay.
I can make it big for you, Phil.
There we
Phil's looking around. It's first show.
was like,
Phil's. Yeah. Right. So where is it going to be held?
It's going to be held at Old Town Hall in Crystal Lake.
Yep.
Downtown Crystal Lake.
And it's kind of going to be a cool kind of mixer party type atmosphere.
Yeah, we're going to have great food, appetizers. We have a young man I guess he's in his 40s now.
Still a young man to me.
Still a young man coming to
Maybe not to
Andrew
you. Yeah.
is going to come and do drums for us and give us a little African flair. And we're going to I'll be wearing one of the dresses that the women made, because they made me a dress when I was down there.
Wait, what do they just not to interrupt, but the dress, don't they call it something specific? I mean, we call it dresses here, but like in the native tongue, I can't, like Indians are like sarams.
Saris or saris.
Saris. Okay.
But I don't, they've just.
Look at Scott dropping a little knowledge here of the
You're
African.
welcome. Hey, it's past 7:30. My brain wakes up.
That's right.
I get 7:30 to 8:30.
That's right.
Get my brain challenged with Ken, and then I wake up.
Yeah. So there's information out there at Sunbeams. That's more than one. Sunbeamsuganda.org. If you can't show up, still donate. I mean, this is huge.
This
right?
is huge.
Yeah.
I mean, if we can raise the money that is
there a goal that you guys are looking to hit for this
Oh my gosh, if we
fundraiser?
could
or-
get-
$1 million.
$1 million. Yeah. Actually, you know what? If we could get 20,000, we'd have enough to get our first phase school built.
There you go.
So, I mean, 20,000 further.
Right.
Yeah.
20. Right. So what is the denomination of currency in Uganda?
Shillings.
Shillings.
Yeah.
Is it a good transfer rate?
Yeah.
Well, it's always confusing to me because it's way different. So shillings, like 35,000 shillings equals about $9.85.
Yeah.
So if you're
So
a millionaire in shillings, you got like what, 10 grand?
Yeah, not much. No, not
Not
even. Not
Yeah.
even.
Yeah.
A decent car is 40 million shillings, which is about 10,000. Yeah.
I bought my first $40 million car.
Yeah.
Hey.
Some
Wait,
things,
shillings.
some
Sorry.
things there,
Yeah.
you'd be surprised it costs the same as here. I mean, for
Sure.
a used SUV, it's about $10,000. Well, how does
Yeah,
How do you
there's
afford
not
that?
much ways to get income, and that's the thing, is there's not really a way for them to to produce income,
Yeah.
and giving them the skill sets it changes families' lives.
So
So the school will give employment, 250 kids will be educated. I mean, it's bigger than just educating kids, but just developing that whole community.
So again, my job on this show, Kelly, is to play the white person on here.
Me too.
So my question is this. It's great. It's a feel-good story.
Mhm.
Why not in South Side of Chicago?
Right?
Why aren't you doing it here in America? Right? Do you get that a lot?
That's a good
I
question.
have
people-
gotten that question. Yeah, I have. And it is a good question.
Yeah.
And honestly, I feel like, first of all, the people who ask me that question usually are sitting on the sidelines.
Yeah.
Ooh, Ken.
So,
Hold on.
Talk
Let me drop the microphone.
Drop the mic. Kent just got put back.
Yeah. Right.
it's my experience
Yeah, yeah.
anyway.
Really? So you think the people,
Yeah.
it's like the keyboard warriors or whatever, they're going to say something and bitch and moan
Well, it's
about
a-
what you're doing because they're jealous that you're doing something?
I don't know if it's
They
that
gotta
they're
make you look
jealous. They're
bad.
just,
Yeah.
I don't know that it's jealous.
I think it is a lot
Do you?
of times.
I don't think
so.
it's that. I just think people have a lot of opinions. But I think you got to be called to something like this. I mean, I couldn't, there's 8,000 trying to build relationships 8,000 miles away. It's a calling.
Yeah.
They have
And it's
phones in
not
Uganda?
easy. Well, I provide it.
They
Yeah.
called you
Not
and said,
everybody.
"Come
Not
on out,
everybody.
Kelly."
Not everybody.
Right.
But, by the grace of
Mhm.
God, we
Yeah.
are able to connect via internet.
So talk to me about your struggle, right? So you called it a calling. There had to be like, no way, this is ridiculous. Are you 8,000? Come on, no way, right? So tell me about that internal struggle that perhaps maybe you didn't. You're like, woohoo, hallelujah.
Like, was there a
Right.
lot of back and forth?
Yeah.
before making that decision?
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh. Yeah. I think there's always still back and forth, At first it started out with, I'm a relational person. I like
Mhm.
people. I love people. So
Right.
the one-on-one relationship with Mark was a joy.
Yeah.
It was cool. I like to encourage people. So that part was fun. When it started getting into more, it's like, whoa, this is outside my comfort zone.
Yeah.
And who am I? I mean, a white woman who really, up
Yeah.
until then, just did women's ministry for the most part. Stay-at-home
in white suburbia America.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And just every time I prayed about it, I studied about it. I mean, I was doing one study where I'm like, okay, about this land. And I'm not kidding you, that very day in the study, the whole little side story on it was about land in Uganda. I couldn't deny that. I mean, I think God knew I needed to be clear. And and it's been, there's,
Like, oh, you need a sign.
Yeah.
It's here.
And it's a for sale sign for 2 acres.
Yeah.
You need to buy this.
If it feels like I'm hitting you with a big
So,
log, I'm hitting you with
people-
a big.
I'm sure people think I'm crazy, but
Yeah.
you know what? It's so
That's
there's
good. We need
obstacles.
crazy people in the world.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I've always kind of believed and known that, if it's bigger than you, it probably is from God. And
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I can't do it, but it's cool to see the people he's rallying around to.
And
be a part of it.
I mean, there's frustration in what you do because there's so much red tape. I don't know. I've never been out of America, right? Maybe Canada when I was a kid, but I've never been out of America as an adult. And I can't imagine the red tape dealing with two differing countries on how this works, and there's money coming from Uganda. There's a lot of things to me that I just marvel at you, because I would have thrown in the towel like, well, screw this. I'll sit up behind my microphone, and there has to have been a lot of struggle and frustration as you're creating the organization and how you're going to form that and tier that and make it work multi-continent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And, as One Ministries, there's a young man who founded that, and he's doing a lot of work in Uganda. And I reached out to him, and Mark and I had a good Zoom call message with him. And Mark actually went to his leadership conferences on the other side of Uganda. His name is Andrew Delaney. He's actually doing, he lives in Colorado, but his ministry is doing amazing things in Uganda. He's been an incredible help. And at first I said to him, hey, do you think you want to take on our village? Like, I'll rally you. I'll be
Mhm.
behind you. And after a while, he just looked at me and he said, you know what? I think you need to do this one.
Wow.
And so he's been a huge help with just being able to help us navigate, something as simple as you got to have transparency, right?
Yeah.
So we've got a bank here, we've got a bank there. We only wire money there and we can see online, but certain banks don't allow you to be online right there. So you got to be able to have transparency. Buying and selling, everything is, the deeds are handwritten, but there's land deeds and then there's land titles and there's a difference. I've had to learn all of that.
Well, for a real estate gal,
it's literally a different world.
It's a different world.
Everything works differently. And, I'm sure like a lot of other third world countries, there's a lot of under table, issues to deal with,
Yeah, there's a lot of corruption.
As an American wanting to come in there and help us out, what's in it for me?
Yeah.
Right. You know what I mean? And that's
that's
the reason their society is the way it is, because it's not necessarily about the people.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's America's getting that way too. It's not so much about the people anymore. It's about what they can do and get away with, right?
Yeah, they are not for the government over there. It's not really for the people. People would be appalled at that. As much money as we supply over there in aid, really very little of it ever gets to the people.
Right. Sounds like America.
Yeah. So, but I think the hardest
we've
challenge.
arrived.
We've been there. We've done that.
The hardest challenge.
Here waiting when you arrive.
That's it. Yeah. Now, so that some of our listeners have the understanding what's going on, and just a quick shout out to our good friend Eric Bam. Happy Pizza Friday! I know it is a great day for pizza, and Eric, I know you're wearing your bedazzled pants, so your bedazzled jeans, so we appreciate that. Nate, glad to have you back with us.
And Nate said he had somebody buy his cap and gown so he could actually graduate, because apparently probably didn't have the funds. I mean, helping people's helping people, and that's. I love everybody that helps people, no matter what they're doing, what their story is. The fact that you decided to go 8,000 miles away is where you need to go.
So where I was going with that was, so here in America, you jump off the plane and you're in a beautiful, busy, gorgeous, multi-billion-dollar airport, and you hop an Uber, a cab, or somebody's here to pick you up, and you're just trucked away to wherever. There you land, and it's quite a travel through dusty roads and yuck, right?
It is. I mean, we're not too far we're about an hour and a half from Entebbe Airport, so it's not as bad as if we had to be on the other side of the country.
But it's not like, it's not like going from O'Hare to Woodstock, Illinois.
Oh no,
there's nothing in between, right?
That's what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah, no, it's probably comparable to going Chicago to
late 90s.
Yeah.
All this corn.
Chicago.
Right.
All this corn.
Yeah. You ever see like zebra and lions and stuff over there?
No.
Really?
I've seen monkeys.
Monkeys,
yeah. I've seen monkeys,
I see
but I've
one
not
right
seen like snakes. I've seen geckos,
thank
little
God,
lizards. Yeah.
Ooh.
Things that
You like?
yeah, because as you're tracking through this village and land.
Yeah, those are the real deals over there.
It's literally a different world.
Right.
Beautiful land.
I have to cut out, guys. Kelly, I just wanted to thank you so much.
Was that
for
a
everything
standing
you do.
ovation? Oh,
Yeah,
no. Sorry.
I just want to thank you for everything you do. It's people like you that actually make a difference in the world. Doesn't matter where you're at making a difference, just making a difference. Because as Kent and I always say on our show, be the change that you want to see in the world, and what you're doing is amazing. And you're, I don't want to say sacrificing, but you're giving your life and a part of your life to help other people that really need that help. So I appreciate that.
Thanks.
Thank you so
Thanks
much.
so much,
Good
Scott.
seeing you.
Yeah, it was good seeing
Gentlemen,
you.
All right,
have a lovely day.
Yeah, have a great Easter. Yeah.
Yeah, have a great Easter.
Yep. Thanks for the help with the lighting
Well, we'll
here.
figure that
Appreciate
out
that.
later.
Yeah. That was the Scott.
The Scott.
I'm not sure if I
We were
like
just
it.
Scotted. That's it. No, we love them. Well, thanks, Scott. Be safe today.
What does the process look like for putting a well into a village?
Well, you have a company come in that does it. That's reputable.
Right.
They come in, they dig. I mean, they do have good equipment that comes from Kampala, and they dig very far down until they hit clean water.
Okay.
It's about a 3-day process of digging
Wow.
with their big machines.
Right. Just a drill.
Yeah. And I think we have some pictures on the website too
Yeah.
of
Let me
that.
see if I can find them.
The crew was fantastic. They actually, it may be on, hopefully it's up there, on completed projects. Try.
There we go.
Maybe we just got the well. We got to get some up there of the guys actually digging, because that's pretty cool to see. They come in with some pretty big trucks.
Right.
and they just dig. And the first hole we did, actually, they broke pipes. So you can see it there. There you
Yeah,
go.
here.
Fairly expensive,
share that.
inexpensive-ish.
It's about $7,500.
Yeah, so you kind of see. So yeah, I mean, it's a well-drilling truck that just
Yeah.
keeps boring down and down and down, but it's not like 100 feet down. It's down.
It's down. Yeah.
Yeah.
They get water, but then they need to keep going until they get clean water. And the first time we broke pipes and had to start digging again. And we were very fortunate. Yeah. We were fortunate, though, that this company that came in, that Mark hired to do it, was great because they didn't charge us an extra.
Wow.
You know, when you're a white person down there, they tend to think they can charge
Sure.
you double.
Sure.
So,
Sure. And this is, for those listening, and again, this is a pretty civilized area. This isn't, you're not in the middle of the desert. It's not, the Lion King right now, right? And this is perhaps the first clean water that they haven't had to perhaps walk or travel miles or hours for.
yeah, they were getting it out of a gross creek,
Oh,
and then boiling it. So now that, they have water. There has been another well that's been put in since then.
yeah.
So that they have 2 wells now in the village, but
And the village is about how many people?
2,000.
So just about half the size of Harvard, Illinois, right? Harvard's about 5,000. So maybe about the size of Hebron, if we were to put it in there.
And the village is remote. Like there is no
Yeah.
electricity, no running water. Mhm.
Primitive.
Dirt. Yep.
It's very Gilligan Islandish.
Yeah. They don't have grass huts. They tend to have iron sheet roofs instead of the grass hut look.
Okay.
But the homes are made of dirt
Yeah.
and straw, and it's like,
Yeah. To me, that's it's fascinating. And there's so much yuck in the world. There's so much yuck here in the United States. And one of the reasons Phil and I wanted to have you on is because, first of all, we believe in what you're doing. We think it's amazing. And we want to get it out there that there's still time to buy tickets for next Friday. There's still time to donate. If you want to be part of what's going on and what you're doing, just get a hold of Kelly. She'll talk to you, and I mean, it's awesome.
absolutely.
So as we're doing this and you're making a difference, and you're like, I don't know, it's just one village, but we don't know where that splash ends up, where these kids now that are educated go, that are the next senator, that are the next great inventor, that come from what you're doing. Because I understand, a lot of the focus is let's just get this school and get these kids. But I'm trying to look out over those skis to who's the next president of Uganda that comes from your school, because you created the school. Yeah. And that's what I mean. You're changing the world in ways that we don't know the ripple yet, which is really, really cool to me. And we here in America get tied up with, oh my gosh, did you see how that woman treated that woman during a basketball game? And these people have been walking for hours to get dirty water out of a creek to boil and to drink.
Yeah, they live in community very well. I'll tell you, they teach me more than I could teach them.
Sure.
They do community pretty darn well, I have to say. They're much more dependent on each other. They gather together way more than we do. They're outside, and their homes are dirt. There's no mattresses. Their toothbrushes are stuck in the wall. It's just they're not in their homes ever. They're out together on the compound, hanging out.
They're not
wanting to be busy. They have dreams.
Bridging civil tension.
There's a lot of differences.
Yeah.
And that's probably been the biggest internal struggle that I've had, I've really had to be humbled that I need to listen more and try to understand more.
Yeah.
Because I don't know what I think I know.
Right.
Well,
and as we talked before, you told me the story that they're all shysters, right? So it's like they're going to con you or try to one up you or whatever, right?
They can be, yeah.
And that's a different aspect to what we're not necessarily used to here in America as well. So how do you know? So I always go through my own head and go, man, I go in there like, I don't believe you. You know what I mean? You're out to get me. And so you're over there, and now you are the outsider.
Mm-hmm.
You are the minority,
mm-hmm.
right? And now all of a sudden you're feeling a lot of what, the minorities here in America feel. How do you work with that?
I think it's one step at a time. I think it does boil down to building relationships and, testing, just taking steps with people one step at a time. I think with the women, for example, I found that people were sending their kids out, because kids are cute and, sending the kids out to come be with us. And I'm like, we just need to connect with the women. And, I used to do nails before real estate. So I gave women pedicures, and you know what? It just broke that barrier to be able to say, I care about you. I'm here to serve you. I care about you as a person. It's about seeing beyond that. A lot of the conning and manipulation or scamming or all that, it's a mode of survival. And I think if we can recognize that, it's not personal, it's survival. And if you can see that they're there, if you're there for them, that's something they don't experience a lot in their culture as trying to survive, is not having people for them.
Right.
They're all for each other. And so when they know you're for them and you're there to lift them up, it does make an impact. And then you test. There's been times we've sent somebody to go get a goat for us for a prize, and he doesn't bring back the change. Well, okay, you learn from that. Or he brings back a
my
crummy
kids.
goat. Yeah, I mean, you learn from that, and then you confront it. We've confronted people and said, "Hey, what about this, buddy? You can't be. We need you to be a leader. We need you to have integrity." But it's not cutting them off, blocking them, writing them off, and they're human beings trying to get through and survive. And none of us know how we would respond in that scenario and in that culture. So,
right.
I think it's easy to write off, hey, they conned us and this, and I love the fact that you recognize it's survival, right? And I think sometimes that, like you also said, we don't know how we would respond in that situation. I think we got a glimpse of it during COVID, right? And that kind of reminds some of our listeners, hey, we're willing to fight old ladies over toilet paper,
right?
On a scare. Who are we to judge people who may not, have a bowl of rice or whatever to eat for the day, right? So what would you do in those types of circumstances? Okay, have a little bit of grace. But I love the fact that you have a process of testing and trying and not just writing them off. But okay, then maybe that person isn't trustworthy, not the culture.
Right. Because there are people who do want to work. They do want opportunity.
Right.
And they have proven themselves to be very trustworthy. And even if they've, messed up and we work with them and then you see them, then there's grace, right? To be able to say, hey, we still believe in you.
Right.
You can do this different.
Yeah.
It's not like you have to have a perfect track record. You just got to be willing to.
Well, and it's somewhere along the way here in our great history of this nation is we have fallen off of I'm here for you. And now it's I'm here for me. Watch out. And I'll throw elbows to to get it. And as I watch a lot of things unfold in the world, everybody loves you, people like you who are there for other people. Yet they aren't able to go, I want to get involved. How do I get involved? It's oh, good for her.
Right.
Right.
Like you said earlier,
Yeah.
They say something slick to her.
Yeah.
While they're on the sideline.
Yeah. It's the truth.
It is.
Of course, Steve Wells is a part of Questions You Never Thought You Could Ask in Church. And Steve also he and Barbie have created the Hope Center, over in Uganda, which is not quite near you, but near you. Is that right?
We're about 7 to 10 miles away from 7 miles away from there.
And I watch, and it's kind of the same thing with them and what they do. But I always just marvel and go, it's so cool and so frustrating that I haven't done something great like that.
Calm down.
That's scary. Hey, bald white guy. Why don't you? No.
It's so funny because people say, "Are you ever afraid?" I've never been afraid down there. Well, I'll take that back. One time during COVID, when they were doing police stops, there was a police officer that stopped us for absolutely no reason. That we had one extra person in the car, and
Man. Been telling these guys me.
yeah. And yeah, and there were some threats during that interaction. I was like, oh my gosh, I could end up, that was a little bit scary. But the people that I know, they're absolutely not.
Just rewind that to the 30.
I love that.
Just if you want that soundbite, it's at the 35-minute mark of this show.
So there's nothing to be afraid of when police pull you over. All right.
Oh yeah, no, they're that's the scariest part.
Yeah. Now, what is it that you money?
All bribes.
Money goes the furthest, but is there anything else that you need from people? Do you need, what is it that can help Sunbeams Uganda from our great listenership and whatnot?
Oh gosh, obviously funds, to get this school built, but skill sets, gifts. If people are interested in something like this, I would love to talk with you. I mean, you never know.
Yeah.
Any kind of skill set, from media to I'm technically challenged, so that would be huge. There's behind the scenes work, there's front work. Something as simple as old cell phones. When we go down there, we've got to be able to get these people to communicate with us, so that they can tell us what's going on.
I've got a whole drawer full of them.
Yeah, cell phones.
Literally.
Cell phones that work, that we can get them to have down there is huge.
Flip phones? You still need some burners? Never mind. That's a whole different. That's right.
Smartphones would be huge because then they can communicate with us. They can't communicate with us without smartphones.
I'm
but
sure.
Smartphones are huge. Any electronics, they don't have, computers, things like that. That would just help them. Material, we got women sewing, and we need material because the
dresses are beautiful too.
Yeah. They're going through the material and all they're learning, and they're learning to make uniforms for the school. So this isn't just like a fly off. This is all part of the process.
Now, here's the cool thing, and this is why I say that you're changing the world, is the lady who knows how to sew or lead that is not a Christian, right?
Oh no, the teacher that we have in there hired is a Christian.
Okay.
She loves the Lord. She prays with the women. She disciples the women. But the home that we're hosting it in, she's Muslim.
So,
and she's,
you see what I mean?
Right.
And she's fantastic. She's the one who said, "Hey, I got some room. What do you think?" And we've not been shy about where we come from at all.
Right.
And she's okay with the gospel being shared in her home. And they love each other.
Yeah.
It's really cool to see. You'll see pictures of them together.
You know what? You understand?
Amazing.
Pick up that vibe, everybody. Just let that kind of ruminate and sink in a little bit, because that's what, when you don't have an agenda and all your agenda is to help, don't matter. It don't matter. And I've talked about that with other people as I've shared Sunbeams, and and I'm just like, you don't get it. It's not like here, right? I mean,
if my letter was different than your letter, the whole program would be shut down.
Yeah.
If I was a Democrat in his Republican House and we wanted to do all this setup, it's like, oh, well, you don't get along with me, or if my religion was different than your religion, then no, I don't want that Muslim guy and I was doing this thing. But this isn't even about the faith part, but it is awesome that you are bringing that there.
Yes.
And if they blend perfectly, awesome. If conversion happens, even better. But I feel like that would be shut down here, or the selfish. The focal point would be on self versus the movement.
Yep. Yeah. Well, Lelos, right? Live a life of significance. I mean, that's your clothing right there.
I like it.
That's what she's doing, and when you do that, that crosses all borders. That crosses all letters. I mean, people just go, you know what? Yeah, and in me is good, no matter what I believe. But I want to be good. I want to do good. I think it's, I marvel because, first of all, amazing, right? And there's a piece of me that goes, man, I really wish I could do something like that. But then I go, I don't know, 35 million subscribers to 21.6 and that isn't a bad, that's not a bad ministry in itself.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
I
just sit in this goofy, little studio and
but even with
here we
what
go.
You're doing though, man, with your 33 million, it's not about Kent, respectfully.
No.
You do things like this. Like, it's not just, hey,
Absolutely.
hear my amazing voice. It's like, no, they are amazing people. Let's give them this platform so 33 million people get a chance to hear what's happening over in Uganda, right? So that they can make that difference as well. So it's not just you focusing on you.
Yeah.
You look to bring people up to get that message and positivity out in the world.
Well, that's, daily dose
Absolutely.
of encouragement. That's what we want, right? Is how do you get that daily dose of encouragement out there? And that's just, you You just do. You get it out there. And of
Is
course,
next electricity for you guys in the school?
I think we would like to do solar.
Okay.
That's the plan because, electricity is run by the government. And so then they're going to
yeah.
charge them out. So if we can do solar, that's a better option for us because then they're independent from the government.
So here's some of the dresses that these ladies that they sew. I mean, you take a look at it. They're absolutely stunning.
I know.
Right?
I know.
I mean, they're absolutely
Oh, wow.
stunning. They look like they're right off the rack. I mean, look at these two
It's
beautiful.
really
Look
cool.
at that. Yeah.
Yeah, that's Jackie with her daughter. She went and
That's her. I was going to say they were sisters.
No, that's her daughter, and she's got a baby too, who is a little boy
Man.
that's got little pants on that match. And
Isn't that great?
yeah, she bought her own material to do that for Christmas, to clothe her kids for Christmas. So she was so excited about that.
Look at and just I mean, look
Yeah.
at they're just beautiful.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
They're fun. And Madame Teddy, the one in the center there, that's our sewing teacher.
Yeah, right here.
She's just such a sweet soul. Oh my goodness.
Look, you can see it radiates from her. And look at the sewing machines too. I mean, this isn't the kind where you put your laptop on and it does it for you. This is the old Singers.
Yeah, no
right?
crickets here.
Yeah, and the pedal pump.
Yep.
Right. That was my pedal pump sound.
I was wondering what that was.
That was good.
Yeah. So here it is again back here, but just gorgeous, right? And so with this, let's roll down here too. Look at the vibrancy that what this does brings to that village, right? Now it's not, I got dirty brown stuff on, right? I mean, look, this brings life. This brings hope. This brings, and we look at clothes and go, but this changes as I'm walking by and I see this beautiful dress. This changes my whole perspective of my day.
Well, I feel like our kids would be upset if it didn't have the right logo on it.
Right.
Yeah, right.
right.
They're so excited. When I went there, that was one of the most touching moments of my last visit in January. As I went there, and when I walked up to the sewing school, all these women came running out in their dresses that they made, and they're cheering and hip hollering. And let me tell you, they know how to celebrate way better than we do.
Oh yeah, sure.
I mean, they put it all out there.
Sisters.
They're coordinated.
And it was just heartwarming just to see their pride in what they did, and their excitement to be able to share. It's like, look, they want you to know that when you give to them, they're doing more than you can even think with it. They have exceeded our expectations on everything we've done down there. And it's just the coolest thing.
Now, just so everybody knows too, I mean, Kelly is incredible. I mean, you work full time, you've got a family. I mean, so this isn't like one of those weird people you think are out there like I'm a multi-billionaire and I'm
all right.
No,
and I just had 4 grandbabies in the last 3 years, so
get out of
it's busy.
here. Right, that's
It's
awesome.
busy.
And well, that's God's way of congratulating you for not killing your own. That's that's what grandbabies are. I haven't gotten any yet, so I don't know. I'm scared right now.
They're sweet.
Good for a little
Yeah,
bit.
you're good. Yeah,
You're good. They keep you busy though,
So, that's why I say this is a calling. This is a passion, and there's a difference between doing something you love and a calling, right? And it's just amazing, and the energy that you radiate is beautiful and incredible because you're living it. You're living your calling, and that's something I think we all should strive for and look for because people
absolutely
don't, right?
Wherever it's at.
Yeah. And if we do that, if we pay more attention to that, then it's like, how do I help? How do I help? Because that's the energy you give off because you're helping so many people. So when I get next to you, I'm like, oh, I got to do something. How can I help? And one of the ways is I was like, come on, let's get on the show. Let's talk about the gala. I'm calling it a gala. What is it called?
I think we just had fundraising event.
Fundraising
we were pretty
event?
clean and simple.
Yeah. Yeah. So,
but gala sounds better.
Right. Kim's trying to spice it up.
Gala sounds better. Maybe we
Right.
should have brought you in on the beginning parts.
So this is the inaugural one. So this is your first.
This is our first one. Yeah.
First
this is
one
a big
here. And so you've been doing this for how long over there?
3 years.
3 years. So
3.5.
So this is the inaugural. Come join them in Crystal Lake. That is absolutely still tickets, right? You can get all the
There are.
details, delicious food, drinks, raffles. We're going to have an incredible artist there. We hope to get him on, Andrew, at some point. But
Andrew's
he'll be
He's
doing
fun.
some drumming.
He'll be doing some drumming.
Now
And he'll be doing some sharing too.
is
a
he
little
from?
bit.
He's not from.
He is from Uganda.
He's from Uganda.
Yeah, he actually went to school in Mitiana, which is the district that we're in.
Okay.
So that was kind of
Yeah,
cool.
and he and his dad own some land over there, quite a bit.
Quite a bit.
Yeah, from what I understand. That's why I asked. I was like, about some land. I'm like, oh, right, which is amazing. So that's cool that he's going to be there too. It's really, really cool.
And just coming helps because part of
Yep.
the proceeds of the ticket will go towards Sunbeams Uganda as well.
Yeah, and it's going to be fun. So there's going to be music. There's going to be silent auctions. I mean, this is just a great time to be with great people who want to do something great for other people.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
it's
And if
just-
anybody has any silent auction items that maybe they want to donate, that would be another way that they could help. So there's all kinds of ways.
There's all kinds of ways. Absolutely. I mean, look at these. Look how cool that is. Now, what is this structure behind here? Is that a pen or is that a house?
That's probably more. That's a pen.
Yeah. So some sort of livestock or something
Yep.
there. Yeah.
Most of them, their only job really down there is farming, raising livestock,
Yeah.
growing their own food.
Amazing. Look at that. How cute. Good
Yeah,
stuff.
they're sweet.
Yep.
And they're so happy.
Good stuff. You look at this. It's amazing. And
Yeah,
that-
for people want to come down there, and too, because
Yeah.
we have on there that is an option, and people are always welcome to come down when we go. It's just people have to understand we're not going down there to take work from them. We're not like some people form mission teams and say,
Yeah.
"Oh, we're going to do this."
yeah.
That's not us because they can do their own work. We
Yeah.
want to encourage them to do it and just love on them. So when we go down there, we just build relationships with them, let them know that they're seen. We care about you. We love you. We want to get to know you. We're here for you. And we'll help you.
Yeah.
Help yourself.
Yeah, that's awesome. I've done mission trips. I've spent several years out on the Rosebud Reservation in South Dakota in Todd County, which is the poorest county in America, right? But it was kind of the same way as we went there and did a Bible school for the kids, and then help work on homes and things, but worked alongside, right? But that's nothing. It is something, but again, you look at this, that the splash, right? So as you drop that rock in the pond, just the waves that we don't see yet today, because we're getting ready to build that school. Is here come the next best leaders, the next person to be on the
Yeah,
moon, whatever,
absolutely.
right? And how cool that is. And up until this point, perhaps nobody's given them that chance. They're just like, nope, your whole family's always raised goats. You are a goat raiser,
That's what you are.
right? And now you're giving them hope. You're giving them the ability to dream, to say, wait a minute, there's more than just goats out there,
Yeah. And moms aren't going to have to choose which kids go to school. I mean, think about that. You got 10 kids, you can't afford to send them all to school. So you got to start picking and choosing who goes, right?
Right.
I mean, it's true.
The look on our faces, like, I'm sorry, what?
Yeah.
It's
And
right.
I think
What?
of like Louise, who, she's phenomenal. She does, they do send her to school, and she was in the home when her house got burnt when she was a baby. So she's got a
geez.
lot of scarring on her face. And we brought Neosporin there, which has been a huge thing. Neosporin, that's another thing.
What
we
do you
can give.
think? You're right.
And the mom looks at me and she's like, "Will this take care of Louise's scarring?" And it just kind of broke your heart to just think, I wish I could bring a skin grafter down there.
Right.
But Louise is so smart. And that woman that young lady wants to be a lawyer. And I have no doubt that she has
will be.
capability to do it. So yeah, there's just some really
Brilliant.
cool people down there with passions and dreams, just like we do. they need us as much as we need them. Like, let's just
Right.
be real. There's a lot that they teach me that
Caritas, you're a
Mhm.
lever.
we're
Yeah.
partnering. We're
Right.
not here to, we don't lord over them. We're not, it's not that. That's just
Right.
the wrong angle. It's a partnership.
Yeah.
And there's so much. that
Have you
they
made
have.
any? I guess what are some of the mistakes that you've made along the way that you've learned from, if there have been any? Because you know, a lot of us are like, oh, look how easy it is. Look at, you know, and I always try to encourage the kids that I coach and teach, like, no, make a mistake. Right. That's how we learn. You have to be willing to fail. Has there been any huge failures that you go, all right, now we know how to do this?
You know, I think the biggest failure, which, you know, sometimes people think monetary failures,
Right.
but I think, no, I mean, my biggest failure was assuming that they were like us. That was my biggest
Wow.
failure. There's a lot, I think the biggest obstacle I had to overcome, but once I saw it, we could partner together on it, is they view, like in America, we treat our children, there's a lot of pressure on parents to provide for their kids.
Yes.
A lot of pressure to put them through college, do everything, put them on travel, sports, all the pressure that parents feel. Well, the pressure's on the children to provide for the parents. Now you've got children with no skill set.
Kids, you listen to this out
Yeah,
there.
right. Being especially
Elijah,
the
get
sons,
to it.
the sons down there are under a lot of pressure to provide for their families.
Okay.
A lot of the fathers have left, and so it's with moms, and they're put under a lot of pressure. And I think
And that's the
my
way.
biggest
That's the way of
mistake,
life there.
that
right?
is,
Yeah.
and that's really, I've had to be humbled in that, because I got to tell you, I wanted to try to, I just would get mad at it.
Sure.
I just need to change this. But I think so that was my biggest mistake. I think going in there and just being like, even like using the scriptures to say, hey, do you see it takes one? Like, don't see your child as a burden and a mouth to feed. It takes one to change the
Yeah.
course of the world.
Right.
You know, look at Joshua, look at Peter, it's one.
Yeah.
And so that's been a way we've been able to, I feel like I wasted time trying to get them. Or assuming
it's
that,
good. It's good.
assuming we thought the same
it's
way.
Good Friday, so I think of Jesus like, oh, I wasted.
So going
right?
in
Yeah.
and encouraging the women and building relationships with them and helping them just to see things from a different perspective.
So then when
and
you,
respect their culture. I wanted to change it. That was my biggest mistake.
wow. Okay. So that's cool, and it took a while. I
Mhm.
mean, we've been at this 3 years, so I mean, some people go, "That's not very long," but you know, that can be a lifetime of learning, right?
Yeah.
And has that transferred to your life here?
Oh my gosh. Yeah. I think I'm a little bit of a better listener now.
Yeah.
You know, I really I have to tell you humbly, I mean, I got to tell you, I think I knew the answers and you just go fix things. And, you know, until
America.
until you're walking in someone's shoes and you really realize that
Sure.
you don't know what you know.
Yeah.
It's
I'm
and I'm going to tell you, one time, it wasn't that long ago that Mark had said to me in a conversation, he's like, why do you, you know, you sound like you just know how things work here. And it got me, because I'm like, gosh, I really do think, I think we all think
Sure.
we know.
Absolutely.
We either know how to fix it. We either know how people feel. We either know their motives. We don't know any of that.
Right. Well, my
So-
daughter went to Greece this past year, and she's like, dinner goes from like 9 p.m. to midnight. I'm like, well, that's when, no, Dad, you eat for 3 hours in Greece from like 9 p.m. to midnight. It's a whole thing. She goes, you know, and here we were like, oh, 5:30, time to eat, you know, let's have some, you know, macaroni and cheese, whatever. And she's like, no, they're not even, nobody, I mean, it's just different. And there was a great trip for her to be able to open her eyes to different culture, to different, you
Yeah.
know, but to go, man, eat for 3 hours. And she's like, oh, it's a whole thing. At first come out like the charcuterie and the wine, and then the next comes out this. And if the chef brings out something, you have to eat it all. You can't not eat it, because then that's you know, so it was a learning experience. So yeah, you know, we're here like, oh, America, you know, and then we roll over there. We're like, oh, America.
And can you imagine the relationships that are built over that 3-hour meal?
Oh, I absolutely.
Instead of just,
Breaking
you know,
bread.
people
Oh,
passing
man.
in the wind, or
Right.
eating, shoveling it down
Or
in 5
through
minutes,
the
thinking that
drive-thru.
they're being
Everybody's on
productive.
their phone while they're supposed to be eating.
Right.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. So we do that. My family still today, 4 kids. My oldest will be 29. And I know it's dumb, right? And the amazing thing is still today, we will gather who's ever there. Right? There's usually 3 of us pretty regularly now because Lucy's only 13, going to be 14. I know, dude, right?
I've known
But
kids since I was like 18 years old. So like kids. So now hearing these numbers.
But but we still do that. No, there's no phones allowed at the table. The TVs are off. That's
awesome.
When we break bread, and we're
Yeah,
together as
that's
a family.
awesome.
And we still find time to do that with as busy as our schedules are. But it's hard to do. But yeah, to me, I am always fascinated at other cultures, even though I've never gotten out of America, right? And I think I wish that we here in America would understand it. Even in America, there's other cultures.
Yeah.
That part.
Yeah. That it's not, well, this is the way I was raised. This is the way it is,
You're never going to be able to make a difference if you don't take a risk.
Right.
I mean, the biggest risk I probably take is, you have to learn to trust people that people will stereotype as untrustworthy, right?
Right.
But the power of believing in someone, unbelievable. I've seen people go from having no hope to blazingly beaming because someone believed in them.
Yeah.
And that's where the difference lies. I think that's sometimes the best work we do.
Yeah.
Is just believing in people who no one will take a risk and believe in.
No.
And see what they're capable of.
But me and Kim have talked about that with him mentoring and coaching kids as well. That you said you got to trust someone who you may seem as untrustworthy. But the flip side of that is, I may not trust you.
Yes.
I may not trust why this Kent guy is trying to make sure that I have dress pants and a tie for an interview. I'm like, okay, what's
you
his
got
angle?
it?
Yeah.
I love Miss Briggs. I had my arms crossed, like, y'all want me to do what? I was like, Miss Briggs, you're trying to buy me too much stuff. She's like, shut up and try the dress pants on. All right. So it's fun that like when you just show like, no, I just care about you as a person, and then you can see that in both sides get that what you guys can create.
Those are pleated with cuff on the bottom too.
And that's a great point. That's a great point because there is trust on both sides.
Yeah.
Right.
They don't trust you, and as a whole, they don't trust us either.
Because in certain areas in Chicago, the only time Kent shows around is a police officer.
Yeah.
Right.
So now he cares about what book I'm reading and my soul and things like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
And that's why I say Sunbeams Uganda.org. Go out there, like them, love them, follow them on Facebook. You've got a Facebook one.
You do.
Instagram. Like, follow, subscribe, donate. Let me see if I can pull that up onto the screen right there. So you can go to Sunbeams Uganda .org and you can donate right there online. A big I'm going to call it gala, but fundraiser coming up a week from today. We'll remind y'all next week, but go online and grab tickets. Tickets are how much?
Tickets are $75 each.
$75
Appetizers,
each.
dinner.
Super affordable. You want to do something, and listen, next week's going to be a beautiful week. It's going to be in the 70s here in Northern Illinois. Great time to just go be around good people for a good cause. Right?
For my birthday.
Yeah, man.
Yes.
Yeah, because yours is the 16th.
16th.
That's right. That's right. And then the 16th, another great one. I'll be emceeing at Gigi's Playhouse. They have their annual fashion show. So I'll be emceeing that. It'll be fun. That'll be Sunday. So next week's a busy week for me. And then basketball on Saturday and Sunday. It's crazy. Yeah. I don't know why I do what I do. I just do it.
Because you care about people.
Yeah,
that's why you do what you do.
Truly it. Awesome. We know we're at the back end of this. We know you have to run. Kelly, you are welcome back anytime. Give us updates. Do whatever we can to help out. You know where the door is. We can give you the code. Come in. Just any way we can help. Just let us know. Absolutely love what you're doing, who you are, and blessed to be able to have you in our lives. So
Oh my
that's
gosh,
it.
thanks for having me on. It's been a blast. It's been
Yeah.
nice to meet you. Nice to see you again.
Yeah, you're her book. So
I do.
Yes,
I
I would
do.
love to read your book.
That's it.
That'd be great.
Listen, for all of us here at 216 the Net, thanks for getting caught in the net with us. Go to sunbeamsuganda.org anywhere in the world, and you can donate to help out this cause, building a school over there in Kenji.
The village of Kijude.
Kijude.
Yeah, it's in the Mitiana district.
There you go.
Kijude.
Kijude. And reach out, ask any questions. If you have questions, send it to info@216thenet. Just put Sunbeams Uganda. We'll make sure that it gets pointed to Kelly, and we'll go from there. So
All right. Thanks.
awesome.
Thanks.
Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you in a little bit for Innovative Strategies with
Thanks.
Bill Hussey.